just really weird and like inconsistent, kind of creepy, because like, first of all, she's talking about the psychiatrist like it's a therapist, like talking about like really personal details, like parts of her life that she's like sharing with this therapist and that he's allegedly sharing with her. But I don't know if you guys are familiar, but wait, was I saying psychiatrist or therapist? Basically, she was like describing a therapist, right? But she's talking about a psychiatrist, and she claims that this psychiatrist fell in love with her and was like gaslighting her, and that it was like some kind of like clinical abuse, kind of. Like, she claimed that the psychiatrist fell in love with her back and was like manipulating her. I don't know, it's just really creepy. But I think the creepiest part about it is like the way that she uses AI, because like she'll literally talk to her AI like she's talking to a human, like, and she names them and like refers to them as their name. So like one of the voices, I guess his name is Henry, and she'll be like, oh, let me ask Henry, like whatever. And like, obviously, I don't know how you guys use AI, but AI is like pretty known for kind of like glazing you, I guess. That's, I've never used that like vernacular, but like that's like the way I would describe it, I guess, because like AI never tells you that you're wrong usually. It kind of, I mean, of course, it only sees your perspective of situations, so it's kind of like rare that people would admit to like anything wrong they did when talking to AI. Like, I feel like anybody who talks to AI like that is like just needing some kind of external validation, like, you know, because I don't feel like it would tell you that you're wrong, but also it is very helpful for like maybe like understanding things. But this lady is like obviously already mentally ill, so you have her like talking to these AI characters like they're friends, like they're human friends, and they always tell you what you want to hear. Like, it's really, really scary, and it kind of shows you like how dangerous AI is, because like, I feel like, yeah, it's like bad for the environment. Like, yeah, it's like kind of scary because people can like make fake things about you, and like it makes you not good at learning at school. I don't know, like, just there's a lot of bad things to it, but like this is like really dark-sided. Like, I did not think that would come from the use of AI. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is the clothes that Brandy Melville. Why the fuck does it like do some of the stuff like look really, really like kiddish, like not even like immature, like it looks like children's clothing. Some of the stuff in Brandy Melville, like some of the stuff in Brandy Melville deadass looks like child's clothes, because, and it'll be creepy because it'll be like a pair of underwear, and it'll be like I don't know, like say weird shit, like, I don't know, like Little Angel or something. I saw those, I'm pretty sure. I don't, not verbatim, but like I saw something that made me like really uncomfortable like that, and then I felt like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, that's kind of like the vibe, because I know obviously that store is like meant for like teenagers, or like, you know, like young adults, and or maybe not even young adults, maybe just teenagers, because all the clothing is like really small too. But it makes me uncomfortable was the worst, or one of the worst mass in America, and a lot of it's really weird. Like some of the weird things are like that the person who took it upon themselves to create that situation, allegedly it was from their hotel room, and they were able to aim at a crowd down below their hotel room. And I don't know if you guys know, like, it was in the Mandalay Bay, so you can Google the Mandalay Bay. It's kind of shaped really weird. It's kind of like a Y from the top, so like if you were on an airplane and you look down, it kind of looks like a Y. And so the guy who did that, he was on like one of the rounded corners of the Y. So like, let's say you're looking down at me from an airplane, like a Y. Like he was like on like one of these, and then the festival was like over here. Well, I guess he ended up killing, I think, like 60 people or like something crazy, and but some of it wasn't really making sense because like some injured people were like outside of the radius of where you can aim over here. And also a lot of people reported that before the incident took place that there was a lot of airplanes flying around the area, but when you look at like flight logs, or like, you know how they like control like the stuff in the sky, like air traffic, airway traffic, and if you want to take a flight you need to like put it in their database so that other airplanes can see that you're right there, because you're like, anyway, those helicopters were not on the on like the flight logs, I guess. I don't know what terminology. I'm just like roughly like repeating what I remember. I'm just sharing it with you. But yeah, they weren't. So it's like, whose airplanes are those? Because they didn't report it. So it's kind of weird. And also, when somebody made this map, and it's called VegasMap.com. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just my computer, but I wasn't able to access it myself. But I was just seeing videos of people accessing it and going through it, and I was like trying everywhere. I was going through like Reddit links and like stuff, like trying to get to this map because it's like an interactive map. So it's like, let's say you pulled up Google Photos on your computer and you were like scrolling through stuff, how you could like zoom in and out and whatever, and it would have little marks of like where people were injured, where people were passed, and where 911 calls were made, like the location of where 911 calls were made. And it was really weird because, and when you clicked on like the 911 calls, it would tell you, like, you could listen to the 911 call, but it would tell you like a short summary of why the call was made and what was reported. So like you would go around this interactive map and like say, because this is the weird part, there were 911 calls all down the strip. So okay, and also I forgot to mention, the person who went through with that act, they turned it on themselves and off themselves. So the way the story goes is that he was in his room performing the action to the people down below, and then right after turned it on himself, right? That's the story. So why are there 911 calls all up and down the strip reporting that they see pew man I'm sure they were trying to go like under the radar, obviously, but like it's just really weird because like he would have been in his room the whole time, right? And he was like pew-pewed like for probably an hour. So before he was discovered. So, yeah. I don't know, it's just really, really weird, and like seeing that interactive map, I thought it was even weirder. And people say that there was a Saudi Arabian prince staying in Las Vegas at the time, and that there's like a theory that it was a assassination gone wrong. Now, I'm like having a hard time like understanding how that could have gone from that to that. I don't know if that's just me, but there's like also other people saying that maybe the guy who like allegedly like did the act, what if he was just like a really like secret weapon salesperson, because mind you his hotel room was like full of like pew-pews, and so people are saying maybe he was like a high-end weapon salesman, and maybe they tried to get the prince, but something happened and they needed to like cover up their tracks. Maybe the CIA or someone, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, y'all, I'm scared, I don't fucking know. I don't know, whoever is alleged to have done this in this theory that I'm just roughly reciting, that maybe they just thought it was easier to like hide whatever went wrong by like doing that. So yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. It's just fishy, and also a lot of people don't know about it because it was on the news for like a day and then it was like not anymore. So like that's kind of weird too, because people are like, why did we move past that? People are like, yeah, why did we move past that so fast? Anyway. Okay. Oh, this is really, really, really crazy. So like, I've been watching a lot about like natural disasters because I am just so, I'm like, you know, we're having a lot of like climate change issues and a lot of natural disasters, and so it's kind of an anxiety of mine, and like I've been looking into it, and I live in California, so our natural disasters are basically just earthquakes. So I don't know much about like hurricanes or tornadoes. Like I know what they are, but I don't know the science. I don't know the extent of the damage that they do. I don't know how you like survive, like if you were in one. Like I see it on the news, but I don't know like the scientific part of it, or like the effects of like what it does to people, like what the damage that it does, all of those things. Like I see it on the news, but I don't know that much, so I've been really interested in learning about it, especially like, you know, out of respect, as a way to like understand maybe people who have gone through stuff as traumatic as that, because I am real like I always knew, you know, they say all the time, like every natural disaster, like that there's like a death toll, but like I wanted to understand it more respectfully and learn, and like so I can be more empathetic, and like, so basically one that really 5 days a memorial. And the reason why it's called that is because after Hurricane Katrina came in New Orleans, right? And the storm itself was pretty damaging, but the real damage and the real suffering came after the storm, when the levees, which is basically like a dam, because I don't know if you know, but New Orleans is below sea level, so these levees or these dams keep the water out of the city. And actually it happened in 2005, around this time. I think it was August 27th, so it's gonna be 20 years because I was born in 2005 and I'm gonna be 20. So yeah, it's been 20 years since this happened. But yeah, basically the levees broke, resulting in really horrible flooding throughout the city of New Orleans. And the flooding was, I think it was up to 10 feet or 8 feet of flooding, or actually probably more, because people were sitting on their roofs to get out of the water, and even some people who were in their attics drowned in their attics because the water got so high, and the flooding from these levees was so extreme, and to the point that people could only get to and from through boats and helicopters. So everybody was basically stuck to camp in place of wherever they were, if they were high enough off the ground to be out of the water. This also obviously made all the power go out. So nobody had electricity, and some of the buildings got up to 104 degrees or something crazy, because in the hospital, I think it was 103 in Memorial Hospital, which is what that show follows. So it follows a hospital in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, and how they operated inside during the storm, and the 5 days that they were trapped in a hospital with no electricity, no electricity, no running water, I don't think, limited food, limited water, and in 105 degree heat. Also, patient support for some reason, and they told them they need to get all of their patients out of the hospital in one day. It's like 12 hours, which was probably insane. And some of the patients, they were unable to be transported because they were too sick or they were overweight. It was physically impossible, and it kind of seemed like the government just wanted the doctors and the nurses to abandon their patients, to basically pass away their suffering like they had been for the past 5 days. So, Dr. Poe took it upon herself to mix a cocktail of like morphine and like something else, which was basically like a deadly cocktail, and inject the patients with this medication so that they can be comfortable and pass away peacefully, and instead of just abandoning them in 105-degree hospital in the pitch black, like that was. So anyway, a lot of people, I think maybe some of the family were upset by this, and there was a check-in. Oh no, actually it was that they had a higher death rate than all the other hospitals, and so they started investigating, and upon the autopsies they discovered this lethal cocktail in their bloodstream. And so Dr. Poe went on trial and was being accused of murdering her parents. I mean, what? What am I saying right now? I'm like, I watched too many like true crime documentaries or something, because that, like, I don't know why I just said that right now. That Dr. Poe murdered her patients, and Miss Poe really spoke eloquently about it. She said, I am being accused of euthanasia, because like there's this whole moral dilemma of should she have done that or should she have not. But my personal opinion, I think that was a good thing that she did. With limited options and limited knowledge and time and all of those things, like, I think she really did the right thing. But yeah, so she was like, I'm being accused of euthanasia, all this stuff. I don't believe in that. However, I do believe in comfort care. Yep, comfort care. I agree, and that makes a lot of sense to me, honestly. Yeah, I think that making them comfortable was the best options, and I think that she was pushed to a point because we have a negligent government who has no integrity and doesn't care about minorities. Let's be real here. Low income, they don't care about you. Minorities, they don't care about you. I am so serious. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is like this philosophy that I heard, and it's about how when you think about the meaning of life. Hey guys, hopefully you can I'm just gonna end the video here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys were aware, but I'm trying to get better at figuring out all like the technological stuff to do with creating videos, because I am still a little bit new to editing and exporting files and like figuring all that out. So yeah, for the people who are still thinking about me and my ASMR account, I appreciate you guys so much. Life is crazy. I know life's crazy for everybody, but yeah, that's just been what I've been on my little hiatus. But I plan to get on a schedule soon, so hopefully I can no, hopefully I will get on a schedule and do a posting schedule